Welcome back to another episode of Hot Vegas Nights, Black Ice Reality Check. I'm your host, Black Ice. We have a special guest today, Jen Garcia. Jenny from the block,
Oh,
right?
I've never heard
Bronx?
that before. I've never heard that before.
The Puerto
Dad.
Rican queen. What is up? Thank you for coming on.
Thank you for inviting me.
Now,
I'm happy to be here.
And I don't know you that well,
You don't.
right? But Glenn's like, get her on your show.
Yes,
Did you get a chance to go through my...
I did.
What did you think?
I thought you were nicer than most of the guys on YouTube.
Why would I be mean?
I don't know. I ask myself every time every time I scroll YouTube, I'm like, why are they so mean?
Do you think Myron's mean from Fresh and Fit?
I don't watch him.
What about Kevin Samuels?
I thought he was funny. I thought Kevin Samuels was funny.
So you have thick skin.
I really do. I didn't think. Here's the thing. I look at these guys and I'm like, you're not talking to me. So yeah.
So
you're not
if
talking to
Andrew Tate was talking to you, would you reach across the table and smack him?
I would not. I like Tate.
Dude, really? So we're gonna get along.
I like Tate.
So wait, okay. So you're from the Bronx. You're Puerto Rican.
Yes, born and raised, Boricua. Yes.
Oh my gosh. And your family's from Puerto Rico.
Yes.
And
Yes, sir.
how old are you?
I am 49. I will be 50.
Wow, you
In
aged well.
December. Thank
wow.
you. Thank you. Thank
You're
you.
still young, right?
Yeah.
Okay. And hey, I'm older than you, so I got you beat. So don't worry about it.
Okay,
But here's my question.
Everybody just cringed. Now they're like,
No,
yeah,
they're
let's
not.
call
No,
her
look,
old.
the thing is you do what you do, right?
Mm-hmm.
Regardless. And my attitude is, if you're in one lane and you want to be in that lane, great. If you want to be in this lane, great. But you can't be in both, right? So it's
Right,
like,
okay.
hey, I want to be an astronaut, but I didn't go to physics school, right? Or
Right.
you see what I'm saying?
Yes.
Or Air Force or Navy. And so you're what do you do for a living?
I act, I write.
Okay, so what do you do? Is that where your income comes from?
Yes, that is where my income comes from. You guys have probably seen me in local Vegas commercials like Dollar Loan Store, Spring Valley, things like that. I also write for a living. Yes, I get paid to write. I'm producing and pitching a show, and it should be in pre-production in December. So I'm not like a struggling starving
Okay, so
artist.
I'm going to plug you into Tonio's skits. Tonio, if you're seeing this, you guys need to connect.
I love
Ricans.
Tonio. I love Tonio.
So next time he comes out, you guys can connect, and then
For sure.
I'm going to plug my boy Glenn Lawrence, your buddy,
I love Glenny Benny.
right? Glenn, love you, brother. And so now, do you have any children?
I do. I have a daughter and 2 grandchildren.
What?
I'm Gilfin, baby. I'm Gilfin. I'm not going down without a fight.
So
Dad.
were you married before or no?
No. Mm-mm.
Why?
I was married for a very, very short time. Got the T-shirt. I'm like, it wasn't for me.
So you're just fine being single?
I am fine being single.
Okay.
I mean, no, listen, I'm not one of those women that's like, oh, to hell with men. If I meet a nice gentleman, you know what I mean, that's interesting.
But you're not looking then?
I'm not. No, I'm not looking. I'm not currently looking like, hey, I need a man. But if a nice gentleman was like, hey, what are you doing
Sure.
Tuesday night? I'm like, I don't know. What are we doing? You know.
Right on.
As
So
long as he has a plan. Men don't have plans, and it's
wait.
annoying.
What do you mean men don't have plans?
Men don't have plans. Okay, I'll tell you.
Okay, let's talk. Talk to me.
I will talk to you. Last guy I was willing to go on a date with, right? I'm like, good looking guy.
But why are you going on a date if you ain't looking?
Because he asked me out.
Okay, so you're open to
I
you're
just
open to
said
date.
that.
Okay,
Yes.
so you're on the market.
I'm on the market.
Okay.
Okay. He's been trying to date me for 10 years.
Mm-hmm.
No joke, 10 years. I finally break down and say, you know what? Okay, I'll go on a date.
Okay, let me ask you this: why did you wait 10 years?
Oh, he was trying to date me for 10 years, but then he got married, and then I was married, then he was in a relationship.
But you
and
just
I
said
was
you
in-
weren't married. Now you said you're married.
I said very short time.
Oh, how long?
Yeah, maybe a year. But I was with him. Check this out. I did the.
Is this who you had the children with?
No,
Oh.
thankfully, no. I was with him like 11 years, and then you know how it's at the tail end of the relationship, and then the guy thinks the ring will fix it. So he thought that was going to be the Band-Aid. It turned out to be the grenade, not the Band-Aid
okay.
at all.
We'll go back to this other thing. I want to stay on this topic.
Okay.
What fixed what? What was the ring supposed to fix?
We didn't get along much. We argued a lot. So he thought that if we got married after almost 11 years being together, he thought if we got married, it would show like the most serious commitment we could have to each other.
But you were together 11 years before you got married? Yeah. So was it working before in the 11 years?
No.
So why'd you marry him?
No. Because I was young. I was like, never done this before, so I'll do it. I went into it like that. I'm not that girl that ever chased marriage. A lot of women, they grow up and their life's goal is the ring and the marriage. I wasn't that girl. I'm very, you know what I mean? I'm a little butterfly, right? So I was like, I'm cool without the ring. We weren't getting along. It was tumultuous. And then at the tail end, he was like, I know what'll fix it. And I'm like, what'll fix it? And he was like, we should get married. And I'm
So
like,
he
"Wait,
tried.
what?"
He tried.
He tried.
Why do you think?
I tried.
Why do you think it didn't work? Are you challenging to get along with?
No, I'm very subservient until I don't like you anymore. I'm super
What do you
subservient
mean you
and
don't
traditional.
like? What do you mean you don't like? How do you not like somebody?
If you're disrespectful, if you're disloyal, you know what I mean? I'm not. I don't think I'm hard to get along with until you become disrespectful, and then I'm hell on wheels. Then I'm like your worst enemy.
So you're combative.
Once I don't like you anymore, yeah.
So if you don't like somebody, why are you with them for 11 years?
Why are we with anybody after we don't like them? That's what we
that's
do.
the thing. You should not like somebody if you're with them.
Listen, that's why the divorce rate is what it is.
No, you think the divorce rate's high because of that?
Well, the divorce rate is high because people get together and they don't really like each other, and then they put up with each other until they can't take it anymore.
Do you know this is the facts? Men have been traditional for thousands of years.
Oh, here we go.
Ready for this?
I'm ready.
You better get ready. I know you're Puerto Rican.
Here we go.
You know, my grandfather is a middleweight champion. His record's better than Floyd's. He's in the Hall of Fame.
Okay.
So I got gloves, and I'll identify as a chick. No, I'm playing.
I like fighting though, Dab. I don't know.
But check this out. Men want what do men want in a relationship? Let me ask you what the number one thing that they want from a woman.
I think that let's not use the word submissive because it's been overdone.
I didn't. That's not even.
Okay. All right. I think they want a woman, a soft place to land after a hard day, after a hard week. They don't like the nagging. They don't like, you know what I mean? Men are fix it. They're very black and white. What can I do to fix it? I don't like all the emotional crap. And what can I do to fix it? Let's fix it. And I think women treat them like they're girlfriends sometimes. I'm like, men are not girlfriends. They're like, can we fix it? Yay or nay?
But we want respect, right? And
Of
peace.
course.
That's it. We're simple.
That's it.
Respect and peace. We don't even, and Glenn turned me on to this, but I actually knew this, but me and Glenn talked about it. Men, what we're looking for, we don't expect love. We want respect and peace. Women, we have to give love to you. You want love.
Yes.
Right? Women's like, I love you, but you don't respect me. And if you don't respect me, there's no relationship, right? And so throughout 1,000 years, this is men, provider, protector, right? That's our goal. Now I know it's challenging in this economy. It's a 2-income. I get it, and that still doesn't mean you can't provide because you're out there busting your ass.
Right.
But we want peace and respect. We're not. Men are simple. You know when we have a disagreement. It's like, dude, okay, look. You know what guys' goal on a disagreement is? To end the disagreement. It's not to fix a disagreement. It's like, how do I get this gal and me to stop arguing?
Right.
We don't want to.
I've
It's
seen
like,
that.
I don't look okay, and because what happens is you go into a 45-minute, right,
Of course.
sermon on why the dishwasher is still full,
Right.
or why I left the toilet seat up,
Right.
which takes 2 actions, right? The toilet seat wasn't made for us. We don't need a toilet seat. We can squat, right? Or stand. It's for you. So why'd you put the toilet seat down? Why didn't you put it back up when you were done using it? Right? So we can go back and forth. It's a joke, but I'm being literal.
Nice. But you know,
it's two motions. It's two motions.
No, you're absolutely right. But I have to say, never once in my entire life have I had the toilet seat argument. I always found it funny.
Right. So for guys, here's what happens. We're traditional, right? And so when a guy says, I want a traditional woman, the women say that they're traditional. And I'm not talking about being abused. I'm not talking about being controlled or manipulated, right? But when we have a debate or a disagreement, I'm at the end of making the ultimate decision. But I hear and listen. I'm open to conversation. But what I don't argue. I don't deal with it.
Oh, you're one of those guys. You're like, I don't argue.
No, I'm not dealing with it.
Okay.
Right? Because here's the thing. when a guy becomes a man of high valor, not value, which is, you can be high value just in terms of money, but high valor, you have the quan, Jerry, the quan.
Right.
Remember
that's
that?
Different.
The quan?
Yeah, that's different.
You have everything, Jerry. What's a quan? That's everything. You have the honor, the respect, the loyalty, the dignity, the income, the status. We have options and choice. And so when we have that abundance of opportunities, and don't take this the wrong way, it's an interviewing process. It's like, nope. Okay.
See, but I love that. I don't disagree with that at all. I love that.
And so then when it gets really bad, it's like, listen, I choose to be with you. I don't need you. If you're going to cause chaos and drama, you can leave because I have options. The average guy doesn't have the options.
Correct.
He has to deal with it. And then once the ring's on the finger, now she has leverage. Because women are rewarded for divorce.
True.
So now I'm like, oh, I'm stuck. Then the men shut down. Then they go dark. Then they go distance.
Yeah.
Then they start wearing Dockers. And they start watching football. They start drinking beer. And their wife's in their ear. And then she leaves the house and he's like, yes, that's a bad relationship.
Very terrible.
So, but back to where you were saying is, you think divorces are because people aren't getting along. I believe when feminism came into play.
Here we go.
When feminism came into play, which I can go down this whole political path, Lyndon B. Johnson started liberalism, right? Instituted it, and then said, "Hey, let's live off the state," right? Okay, and then the Vanderbilts instituted this whole message and this whole commercialized message that went out to the public to break up the nuclear family to create two taxes, right? So then the women's like, I don't need a man, I don't need a man. They become combative. I can survive on my own, but in the end, everything you do, the income's coming from men, your boss, the creators, the OnlyFans, the guys on OnlyFans, right? The biggest pimps in the U.S., OnlyFans owners, right? And so what happens is now these women have been liberal, they've been independents. I don't need a man. And then when you get into your 60s and 70s, you got your cat, your box lunch, your AM/PM wine, right? You're watching Titanic, and you're mad, and you're on TikTok crying at 60. I should have listened. I should have changed, right? Because not to be submissive to the man, be submissive to the cause. What's the overall what's the overall goal of the family, right? Because 80% of the single households right now with children, the women have the children, and there's an 81% chance that those children are going to end up having challenges, drugs, jail, death, prison, killing.
Sheesh.
Those are the stats. Okay. So back to what we're talking about.
So when you said they want peace and respect, it's kind of like the same thing I said. They want a soft place to land. Right. It's like saying the same thing.
But you said it was because people don't get along.
No, I'm talking about just divorce. A lot of people get together and they don't like each other, but they're doing it traditionally. Let's stay together. This marriage thing's what we're supposed to do.
Right, but you don't think, well, if they didn't like each other, that's why they get divorced. But back in the days, they didn't get divorced.
No, they stay together even if how many happy people do you know that are married right now? Okay. Every time I ask one of my friends or married couples, hey, what's the secret? How do you get along? I get the eye roll. I get it's a lot of work. Okay. Like it looks miserable from the outside. They don't make marriage look good.
But who said marriage was about happiness?
Oh, no.
What's the vows? Do you know the vows? Do you remember?
I do know the vows. I think they're archaic. I think you should throw out the vows and bring in new vows, to be quite honest. You
know what traditional marriage was for? For children.
Really? You think so?
We're put here to procreate, right? Man and woman, we have children. Because that's the biggest gift you have in life is moving your legacy forward, right? Your children. And so without children, you're just paying taxes.
Right.
You're just a carbon. You're taking up the carbon. You're burning carbon in the atmosphere. You're generating revenue and paying taxes. You didn't do anything to move the culture forward, right? So you get married, you have children. I don't like my husband. Well, for better or worse, sickness and health, to death do you part. Does this say anything about love and happiness, right? So,
no.
But what happens is Hollywood comes into play. You watch all these movies. You watch these TV series, and you're like, oh my God, I want to be in love. Look at honey. She brings roses home every day. Like, and then
No, love
he turns
is commercialized.
and then he turns into Al Bundy. You know, Peg, right?
No, I do. Love is commercialized. I don't believe it. It is work. But when you say marriage is for children, I mean, what era are you talking about? Because there was a time where marriage was just to keep, wealth in the family, and it's like we never met.
But that's why marriage isn't traditional anymore. Because modern day women have came in and said, you know what, I need to be happy. I need to be in love, and then they end up alone. And say they don't need a man, and then they find themselves like, how am I going to retire? Social Security ain't going to be there, right? What are you going to do? Do you have investments?
Well, I agree with this narrative. I agree if a woman says I do, right, and she has children with the man, then it's her duty to stay. You signed up for it, then it's your duty to stay.
Did you have children with your husband?
No, I was older. I was done having children.
With the other guy.
I'm sorry.
You had children with the other guy.
Yes, I was very young. I had one daughter with them.
Excuse me. How old were you?
I was when I started 18? Dating him.
No, you were 18 when you had your kid?
No. I was 20.
20.
I was 20.
Wow. So.
And I was with him 13 years. So I'm a very.
So you're young. Your oldest is 29.
Yes.
Wow.
Yes.
Well, okay. No, that's good. Yeah. So you think, what do you think about all the relationships now? You think that it's what's going on is by 2030, 50% of the women are going to be single and without children.
I think like any other species, humans are evolving, and they're having a very difficult time accepting that. Right? I honestly think men are more pissed off that they're not coupling up and having sex than women are. These modern women, they have their focus on other things. And I honestly think that men are the ones that have to adjust to these modern women, because these modern women are not budging.
Well,
they're not budging.
But women were created for man. So why should we adjust?
Because this is how it's going. You may not want to.
But here's the beautiful part about what you said. I agree and I don't.
Okay, what's the don't? Give me the don't.
Because 90% of men, 90% of the women are going after the top 10% of men, and the men ain't adjusting, and they're mad and bitter because they can't get what they want, and what they want they can't have. And and here's what happens with a modern woman. They've out-leveled themselves. They've said, here's what I deserve, but this is what they can get. And so they stay single. I'm not going to settle. Now, when you were 25, 26,
yes,
your value in terms of looks, not as a person, not as a whole person, you have character, you have value as a human being.
Yes.
Right? So when I say that, women are like, no, you're saying, no, I'm saying your looks. You're never as good looking. And because I look better. You're more pure at 25.
What is this? Are we doing this pure thing?
No, because at 25, 26, you were a cutie. You're still attractive.
I'm still a cutie, honey.
Okay, but at that age, you've been with less men.
How do you know how many men I've been? What is going on here?
Because you're 49, you've got kids.
I have a daughter. I said
I'll ask you how many men you've been with.
Listen, 1.5.
Oh, okay. Come on.
So
you've been with more than 1.5 men.
Listen to me. I am well preserved.
Listen, Linda.
Listen, Dad. I'm well preserved because I started dating my daughter's father at age 17. I was with him 13 years.
Okay. And you never cheated on him?
Okay. No.
Okay,
no. He was amazing. No.
Have you been with more than 10 men?
What the fuck?
Why? You're swearing. Why? I'm asking you a simple question. You don't want to say your body count.
1.5.
You've been with 1.5 men, and how many kids you got?
1.5. One child.
How many kids you got?
One child.
You got one kid?
Yes.
So you've only been with, what's 1.5?
1.5. One was a really good guy, and the half,
you've been with one man
1.5.
Your whole life.
1.5. Holla at me. I'm the Black Virginia G.
Cap. Okay. Your Honor. No.
So go back to the
but I'm just saying, I ain't buying that. I'm not buying that.
All right. Yeah.
That's okay. It's okay. Because you ain't dating no guy for 6 months and ain't doing nothing.
Who said I dated a guy for 6 months?
So how many times you've dated since you've been with your baby's daddy?
I don't know.
See, you don't know. You can't count with me. Okay, we'll go to the next
But you know
time.
that women don't. This is gonna sound crazy. Women don't sleep with every man they date.
Yeah,
You know
but
what I'm
okay,
saying?
here's my point. If you dated a guy for a month or two, you've done something.
Maybe.
No, there's no maybe.
Maybe.
Because no dude's gonna be like, dude, I'm not.
I dated a man for years that only ate me.
And he had a side chick.
Maybe. It's not my business.
No, you're right. Because you dated him. You were in a relationship with him.
Right. I wasn't in a relationship with him.
Okay,
No.
okay. So what were we talking about now? What were we going back to?
We were talking about the purity. I was pure
Yeah,
at
but
25.
you were better looking at 25.
Perhaps.
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 So what happens is at 25, you had more accessibility to men that had higher value, higher status.
Oh, if I showed you my contact list right now,
You
it'd
can-
blow your mind.
But I can blow your mind. You can show me your
mind.
contact list, but you ain't in a relationship with them.
Because I don't want to. Here's the thing. You have to, and I understand what you're saying. A lot of women overvalue themselves. They want the 1%, blah, blah. I really have those guys in my contacts. You have to have a guy that's pursuing you in that tax bracket and another one in your phone. I have more than that and a couple that are pursuing me. This is why, Tate doesn't piss me off. This is why Kevin Samuels doesn't piss me off, because I'm in that network.
But you're not.
I am,
But if you were, you'd have it.
No, that's not true.
That's a fact.
No, that's not true. This is why it's not true.
That's a fact.
No. It's not. How are you going to tell me what my life is not a fact?
Because actions speak louder than words. Talk.
Correct.
I can have $1 billion. Look at my Rolodex. Look at my contacts.
Yes.
But I don't. But I could, but I don't. See, we can go back and forth in that argument. I agree with you. You have those people. I choose not to. Okay. All right.
I absolutely choose not to, because I don't want to be committed to a man. Those men, the high value men that I know that come into town, I hang out with, we have dinner, they're going to want a commitment from me. High value men have a lot of women. I don't want to deal with that right now.
So you're going to die alone.
Maybe. What's wrong with dying alone, though?
Nobody was
why
meant-
is it so? Why is it such a? We all gonna die alone.
I'll tell you why. Because nobody's meant to be alone.
I beg to differ.
I don't want to be alone.
See, but you project that on everybody else.
No.
That's the issue. Oh, of course. You're
Every-
projecting it on me right now.
Every woman I grew up with when I was 25 said the same thing you're saying, and now they're my age,
No.
and they're all complaining, and they're all on. I see them on Facebook. I see the posts complaining about men, complaining about relationships, but I don't need a man.
Okay, see, but I'm not that woman. I don't complain about men.
You
won't
so your
see one.
you said in your podcast when you were talking
Yes.
about men,
Yes.
you were talking about. I saw one of your podcasts. You were complaining about this gal that was dating a guy who was dating white women.
Yes.
And
Which one? 'Cause I talk
you were
about it a
asking him
lot.
about it, and you got into a heated argument with him. That's complaining.
Okay, see, here's the thing. What goes on the podcast? Like, I cover a lot of gender wars and things like that.
What gender wars you having?
All kinds. Like, men want women to be submissive.
What's wrong
Women
with
want
that?
men that, you know what I mean? A lot of men don't qualify for submissive women. But I also have
So you don't think all women should be submissive? You think only certain men?
No, I actually did a stream that I said all women need to be submissive. It doesn't matter what, because women are submissive conditionally, right? And I did a show telling them it doesn't matter if he doesn't have a pot to piss in or a window to throw it out of. Even that man wants a submissive woman. So if a woman is going to indulge and engage, she can't complain about the man after she gets him. Like, well, he doesn't have enough money for me to be submissive. That man still biologically wants a submissive woman. So I preach that a lot. It doesn't matter what
But
he
you
has.
said they did, I thought you said they don't all deserve.
No, they don't all deserve it, but it doesn't mean that they don't want it. You get what I'm saying?
But I think they all do deserve it.
No, they absolutely not.
But they're all men if they're in a relationship.
No, absolutely
See
not.
that?
If a man,
that's conditional.
No. It is conditional, but I'm saying but listen to what I said, Dav. I said even when he doesn't deserve it, he wants it. So if you're going to indulge, you have to give him submission.
See, I disagree.
What do you disagree with?
If you get in a relationship with a man and you don't want to be submissive, then you're the man.
If you get in a relationship with a man and you don't want to be submissive, you should not be in a relationship, because men want submission, period.
There you go. So if you get in a relationship, you should be submissive. So they deserve
Absolutely.
it. They deserve it.
They don't deserve it, but you have to be. You have to be.
So right there, that contradicts what you're saying, because
it does not. Listen
if you're
to what I'm
saying,
saying.
but if you're saying they don't, but you should,
Yes.
you're already going into it with a negative mindset.
No, I would not. Because I would only deal with a man I feel deserves my submission. I'm talking about the average
But there
woman.
you go with your feelings. That's what I'm talking about. But even in the Bible, it says you should submit to your husband in your relationship. So you don't agree, but that's okay.
I'm not religious.
You don't need to be. But when shit hits the fan, you're like, oh my God. Well, why did you say, oh my God? Why did you say, oh my God?
Because that's the default.
Oh, yeah, it's a default. Okay, okay. So
you have to understand.
You came from a microorganism then. Is what you're saying.
I come from a background.
You came from.
You want to have me back and discuss religion?
We can talk about anything you want, but I just don't agree.
Conversation.
I know it is.
Religion is a long conversation. You have to understand. I come from a background with a man. My father was extremely masculine. Okay, kept the 2-3 jobs, kept the family intact, and that is what I look for. That's what I feel.
Are they still married?
No, not anymore.
Okay, but they were married all through your adolescence.
Yeah,
okay.
They raised 4 kids and all of that. They got divorced late. Not even divorced, separated. They still interact to this day.
Okay.
So that's what I admire. That's what I look for. So listen to what I'm saying, because people are going to misconstrue this in the comments. They're going to be like, she's talking about. In my opinion, all men don't deserve submission because they are not holding down a home. They're not protectors or providers. However, even that man is going to want submission. So I tell women, it doesn't matter what he deserves or doesn't deserve. He is going to want submission. So don't get with him if you cannot be submissive. Leave him alone. Leave him alone and let another woman cater to him.
But I disagree. But that's okay. We can agree.
You think all men deserve?
If a woman gets in a relationship, then she should submit.
So if a guy is just a lump on a log, doesn't have a job, lays up on the couch, doesn't have a car, you think that man deserves submission because he has a penis?
That's her fault for getting in the relationship.
But that's what I just said.
Okay, well then don't get in the relationship.
That is what I just said, Dad. You're not listening.
But you're not listening to me. If you get in a relationship with that guy, that's your expectation. That's what you're getting. So in order to make the relationship work, I'm not submitting, but I'm in a relationship. Well, then you're not going to be in a relationship.
Well, that's what
you're going to have a fight.
Yep.
So that's my point, right?
But see, then we agree.
And women only date up anyways, 90% of the time.
Yes.
So if a woman's dating down, it's going to equate to a disaster.
Absolutely. Tornado, volcano.
Most of the time, right? So if she's the breadwinner.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. But even if she's the breadwinner, she has to submit to that man.
Yeah, but
what
she won't. That's my point. So there's no respect. If there's no respect, you're not going to submit, right? Because he's playing Xbox, drinking beer, smoking weed.
Yes.
Baby, bring me some money. Well, she's the man. She's zipping her pants in the front, not the back. You know what I mean? She's the man.
Correct.
Right?
Correct.
So there's no.
Yeah, so that's going to be a disaster. But I say, if you're going to date down, you have to go in with the mindset that man wants you to submit, no matter what he has or doesn't have.
But yeah, that relationship, I mean, it's already doomed from the beginning.
Absolutely, I agree.
I mean, your girl Jenny, she married her dancer.
Yes,
How
Chris
did that
Judd.
work? How did that work out?
Divorce.
Exactly. And then she went.
And the waiter, divorce.
It doesn't work. I mean, but she even divorced the baseball player. What's his name?
Aaron. No.
God, I'm drawing a blank now. She married the singer. She
didn't marry the baseball player. They got engaged.
Oh, Rodriguez, Alex.
Yes.
And then she was married to the Spanish singer. What was his name?
Mark Anthony.
Yeah, that didn't work out.
No, it didn't.
I mean, I didn't even see that.
I mean, let me ask you a question.
Like her arms were bigger than his legs. It didn't equate, right?
Yeah, he's very tiny. She's
petite. Like, boom, and he's like this. I'm like, come on. Okay, what's your question?
Let me ask you a question. When you say, well, that didn't work out, do you think that marriage is supposed to be forever?
Yes.
Like forever, ever?
Yes.
I think that's unrealistic.
Well, then don't get married.
Yeah, I think that's unrealistic. I agree.
Yeah, I mean, that's what it's for.
I agree. We also,
But here's what's going to happen. Let me tell you what's happening. Here's the shift.
Okay.
When I coach and talk to these men, don't get married till you're 35 or 40.
Okay.
Because you're at your highest value.
Okay.
Right? Because when you're 18, you have instant value. Right? And I don't know New York or the Bronx, right? But when I grew up in Seattle, right? Every summer, right? All these 18, 19, 20-year-olds are all on these boats, right? Cuties, hotties, and there's 2 guys or 1 guy, and there's 10 girls. And nobody's going to invite another dude. When you have all the money and you have a boat, right? You see what I mean? But the point is that a single man that's in his 35, 40 that has a lot of money, he's not inviting most 40 and 50-year-olds on the boat. You see what I'm saying? So for men at 18, we have zero value. Now, when you're 18, 19, 20, he's cute. Oh my God, he's got a little Subaru. Oh my God, he's cute. Oh, he's hot. He's wearing his jeans below his ass. Oh, he's hot. Oh, look, he's got swag, girl. But what happens is when you start getting to 25 and you're making your own money, this broke ass end, you ain't got no money.
Happens.
And then you start going up. You start, right? You start dating up. And so what happens is for men, women cash their stocks in their mid-20s and 30s. They get to 30 and they start going through this phase where they're feeling maternal. And they're like, oh shit, I got to get married, girl. I got to have some babies, blah, blah, blah. Now, which she should have done in her 20s, in my opinion. But
I agree.
But what happens is these guys cash their stock in too soon. And they say, okay, I'm ready to go. Now what happens? They have a couple kids. They're married. They're doing this thing. And then the posturing comes in. Because now she's got leverage. He's stuck. And then what happens is when they reach 40, they have the kids, 45, whatever, have kids. She's going through menopause. Hear me out. They have the kids and all this stuff. And the kids are going to college. She's got the house. She's got the income. She's got the vehicles. And she's like, I don't need this dude no more.
Right.
Because she's not biologically ready to reproduce. And she's like, I'm done. You know what? Let me cash this in. She takes half the income, takes the house. He has to go get a shitty apartment.
I've heard the whole thing.
So with men, this is what's going to happen. Men are going to get married, not in a traditional sense. They're going to get married, but without the contract.
Smart.
Because the contract is between the man and the government, and then that's the A contract. And then the second contract is between the government and the wife. There's no contract between the husband and wife. They're now married to the government because they have a patent on marriage.
Correct.
So what's going to happen is now women are going to get really frustrated because they don't have leverage.
Okay, to hell with them. I don't care.
No, I'm just saying. So now what's going to happen is men are being more selective and they know what they have because they've seen this track record going down. And so now you're going to have this situation where it's going to go in some ways more of a traditional sense as far as a relationship, as far as the roles in the house, right? But not with the contract. Right.
And I totally agree with that. If I had a son, that's what I would advise him to do because men get the short end of the stick. For some reason, men can't maintain a marriage after a certain amount of years. Women get bored or they get money and they're like, I can better do you.
That's not the men. It's the women.
Well,
the women leave. The women leave because they get bored. I fell out of love. This and that.
But don't you think it's because men are quick to settle into themselves and be home with their hand in their pants watching the football game and their passion? No. I see men. I see men more passionate about athletes than they are about their wives. I've seen it. They're yelling at the TV. Their veins are popping out the side of their neck. They've never reacted to anything she does that way. And women are very...
And that's why the guy busts his ass 8-10 hours a day and he's passionate about his family. And women don't look at that. They want quality time. They want all this date night. I agree. You should take your wife out on date nights. But the guy's passion is going and slaying the dragon. Even if it's a double income family, he's still out there busting his ass. And he's giving that up for his family. He doesn't want to go to work every day. Like I'll give you an example. As a man, I don't need all this stuff. I can sleep on a couch.
That is true. I hear that a lot from guys.
But I bust my ass to take care of someone and my kids. Right? Now I'm not married. I've been with the same girl for 4 years. Okay. Right? But I bust my ass.
What's her body count?
6.
You believe that?
Yeah, 100%.
Okay. You're a nice guy.
I'm a nice guy because I know her background, and she was 26 when I met her.
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
Hey,
I know you.
And she was married. And she was married for 8 years.
Okay. Yeah. Okay.
See, come on. I do the math.
Yeah. Okay.
But I
you do your math. Women have different math than men have. Okay. But I digress.
And I also know you can digress. And I also know that when you go past 6 body count, the chances of pair bonding, which is biological with a person,
pair
goes
bonding.
Down.
Oh God!
Here we go. Right? See, facts don't matter. My emotions matter. Facts don't matter.
You said pair bonding is a fact?
Yeah, it's a science.
That's wild.
Yeah, you can go look it up. Yeah,
okay.
I was reading about it. I studied about it months on end. Right?
Pair bonding is a fact, Dab? I can't with you.
Yeah.
But continue because it is interesting.
Oxytocin levels go down. Everything goes down.
Listen,
Linda, listen.
Listen, Dab.
Don't say listen, Linda. Just say it. Listen, Linda.
Listen, Linda. Okay, here's the thing. I am team Man, I am not a feminist, and I'm not capping. Men get the short end of the stick.
I didn't say you're a feminist.
Okay, so I agree with you.
I didn't say you're a feminist.
Okay, don't get married under contract at all. Men have been getting the short end of the stick for years. So do what you have to do to protect yourself. I don't even believe in child support. I catch a lot of heat because I don't believe in child support.
I believe a man should take care of his family.
I believe that too, but not the way the government has it set up where they can barely live and they can barely move on with their lives.
So do you believe in equality between men and women?
We're not equal. We're not the same.
Okay, you're not a feminist. Thank you.
We're not the same.
Okay, but I believe men should be responsible for their children.
Absolutely, so do I.
But the way the government has it structured, it can kill a situation, right? Like I know in Washington State where I'm from, man, if your child support's late, they suspend your driver's license. Yeah. How are you going to get to work, right?
I had a stream where I invited a guy who got his child support case thrown out. Now, it took him years, right? He had to be his own attorney. He had to study. He had to research. But he got it thrown out. And I had him on my show to teach other men, you don't have to starve and die and be without because you're paying child support. It's too much. These men can't even move on and date other women because they paying thousands of dollars in child support.
I think they should like monitor where the money goes.
I agree with that. I hear some states have cards.
Yeah, and I know there's a big pushback, right, on that. But I believe that, they should, I mean, if you're out buying weed, drinking beer, I mean, it's like, dude, I'm trying to take care of my kid. Right. And you're an active father in your child's life. Mm-hmm. They should monitor where that money goes. I mean, some of the child support, and I get it. Mm-hmm. I'm accustomed to, remember the Chris Rock? I'm accustomed to Yana. I'm accustomed to pussy payments 3 or 4 times a week, right? But it's like $75,000. What the fuck was she eating for $75,000, right? So I believe that, I understand she spent years with this man, XYZ, but, what I tell these guys is like when you get your life together and you're 35, 40, you get in this relationship and you're living together and you go through the ceremony, all that, but you don't sign the contract, put her in a trust, give her something. Don't, you know what I mean? Be fair, but you don't want to have your shoes and your clothes taken off and, whipped to the board, where you're out in the street, with a sign that says, we'll work for food. Right. You know what I mean? So we agree on that.
We do. See, we agree.
We got common ground.
Listen, what do you mean common ground? I've been agreeing with you from the beginning. You're trying to twist it.
I still think you're lying to yourself. You want to be in a relationship. You're just lying.
I don't, man. Not right now. I say that.
Now, what are you going to be? What are you going to be?
Right
80?
Not right now. Give me like.
Do you ever think you'll find your perfect man?
There's no such thing.
Okay, good. We agree.
There's no such thing.
When do you think you're going to meet that guy? I know when you're going to meet him. I know his name too.
Ooh, do tell.
Jesus. Or Lucifer, one of the two. You don't believe in God, so it might be Lucifer. He's pretty hot. Literally. He's pretty hot.
He's more exciting. No, here's the thing. I'm not, listen.
50 Shades of Grey here. Here we go.
Maybe not. Okay. Maybe I'll be hitting him. No, just kidding.
Oh.
So, just kidding. I'm not closed to dating, but I'm not out there like these women. Oh my God, I'm getting old. I don't have that panic.
90% of women say the same thing. I ain't looking.
Yeah, but I'm not 90%. I'm not 90%.
But you're saying the same thing they all say.
But they're outliers though, too, in that group. You have to understand that
what's an outlier?
Me. Because women, listen, and I understand what you're saying. I understand what you're saying. Because a lot of women swear men off and then they get the panicking at 40, at 50. And it's like, oh my God, I'm not that girl. I'm just not. I love men. You guys are freaking amazing. You're great at it, especially if you guys, work out and take care of yourselves. Y'all are freaking amazing. But I don't need one in my house right now.
I do these social group tests where I get feedback from all these women, and I'm not kidding you. Like 95% all say the same thing.
Yeah, because they're reared and raised to be a certain way, and then when they don't, and when they get older, they don't know what to do with themselves. Like, oh my God, I'm supposed to be looking for a man, so they panic. I have no panic about anything across the board.
They're all saying the same exact thing, verbatim of what you said. So you being an outlier is a majority.
Great, because I really mean it. Those women want to be coupled up because they have the pressure of society. Like, you got to be married. You got to be married. You can't pressure me into anything.
If you go through every one of my podcasts, they all say the same. They're pressured. I'm not like that. I'm not like that. Okay. I'm just saying.
But maybe, so why don't you believe any of them?
Because here's what happens. If you're on social media, you'll see the TikToks dropping. They'll start crying. They're 50, 40.
I've never cried on social media.
I know you haven't, but oh my God, I should have. They lied to me. It start dropping, and then Facebook. We're gonna laugh. My kids laugh. You're still on Facebook. Facebook is a family album.
It is.
Facebook is the family album that we sat down and opened up. These young kids are like, what are they talking about? Right? They don't even know what a Technics turntable is, right? We know what that is,
yes,
right?
We do.
And you open up the Facebook. Oh, look at this picture. And it's black and white. Remember when you were here? You were so stupid looking. You stole your sister's underwear. You did this.
Not black and white.
Right. You see? Now, Facebook's what you want your family to see. Now, all the people I graduate high school from are on Facebook. I hate Facebook, but I'm on there because my family's like, we didn't see any pictures. Are you alive? It's like,
I'm trying to quit it, but I can't remember my password.
You take a picture of the family, the kids, you put it on Facebook. Oh, it's okay. You're not on here enough, right? So all my classmates are on there, and every day, I mean the best looking cheerleader. Now, the one woman, Britt Anderson, she's married.
Okay.
White blonde girl, married a brother, right?
Oh, okay.
And she might not even see this, but she's still married, has kids, whatever. All the other women, man, my neighbor, all of them, it's like they were like the go-to girls. And I'm looking, I'm like, damn, you know how much alcohol you've been drinking and we've been smoking? And it's like, men need to be better for women. And it's constant. I was like, you were the girl that said you were the girl that said the same thing. Not that you were saying this, but at 25, saying the same message. And then I see him on TikTok, and I got a whole catalog of 40, 50-year-old women on TikTok bawling about they were wrong. They should have admitted themselves. You won't admit to yourself. You got too much pride, right? But pride will kill you.
Admit what?
That you wish you had a good relationship.
No, not now. Not men are. Listen, this is why.
Wait, were you raised to be a good wife, or were you raised to be an independent woman?
No. I was raised to be a good wife, but here is why I'm not currently looking. And I say I'm an outlier. First of all, I love men, but this is why I'm not currently looking, because men are a huge responsibility. I don't want that responsibility right now. Circle back or come in, and I don't know. I'm open to dating still, but men, the way I do relationships, listen, this is why. The way I do relationships, men are a huge responsibility. They need head on tap.
See, they
need their food cooked. Listen.
You're already masculine. Listen.
Now listen. I am like my daddy. If you see
so there you go.
I'm like my daddy.
That answered the question.
Okay, look. But
that's a masculine trait.
But I'm also like my mama. So men are a responsibility. Let me explain how. Por Dios. Men, they want their meals cooked. They want head on tap. They want sex when they feel like it. They want the peace. You have to look pretty all the time. Your underwear have to match. You have to be sexy for them. You have to be that rock for them when they need it. It's a huge responsibility. I love the responsibility when I'm in and my focus is on that. But right now, my focus is not on that. And if I have a man right now, he's going to get neglected. And I'm not going to get in a relationship to neglect a
good.
man.
That's good that you notice that. So you're not wifey material.
No, not this instant. No.
Okay, that's my point. And you do have a masculine trait. You know that.
I love it. Yes, I do.
And that's what's detrimental in a relationship.
Well, see, but when I'm with a man, I'm a kitten.
Okay.
Alone, single, my balls are out when I'm single. But when I'm with a man, I'm a kitten.
Okay. We're going to shift gears here. Okay, we're going to shift gears here because we're going to go down this Lucifer's not too far. I mean, you're a couple more years. No, I'm just kidding. So, hey, look, let's talk about race because
talk about race.
Why do you feel that 1 in 4 black women ever get married?
You said never get married?
Yeah, only 1 out of 4.
I think we're talking about masculinity. I think black women are more likely to be raised to be masculine. I mean, the I don't need no man is a staple in the black community. It's not a staple in the Latin community. Like, I've never heard that growing up. My mother raised me to be very subservient.
The Puerto Ricans are the black Spanish girls.
No, we're not.
We're not. What's it say on your Instagram?
What does it say on my Instagram?
Is your name? What's it say?
Jen Garcia.
What's it? What didn't you have something that said Black Queen or something like that?
Never.
No, you didn't have that. I thought I saw that on there.
That's not me.
Okay, maybe it was the other Puerto Rican girl.
Definitely not me. Well, a lot of Puerto Rican girls are claiming black now, so maybe it was somebody else.
Oh, because it's in trend.
Yeah, no, exactly.
It's in trend.
Yeah, no,
Okay.
that's not me. I've never done that. I would never do that. No.
But you think it's because oh, I see. It's the block. Okay, on the block with Jen.
Yeah.
Okay.
No black queen here.
Okay,
Puerto Rican
okay.
queen. Puerto Rican queen.
So yeah. every Puerto Rican girl. I'm Black Tina. I'm like, yeah, you are. No. But I think it's because of the culture, the music.
Okay.
Because every female rap artist is very masculine. Very masculine.
Well, they have to be.
But that's the point. And you have all these young women that are idolizing these female rappers.
Yes.
And
to their detriment.
Right. And so if you listen to it, I mean, I'm sitting there like, and it's funny because when you're younger, you knew all the words, but you were just listening to the music. And when you get older, you don't know the words, but then you hear the words, you're like, oh my God.
Yeah, it's like,
Isn't that weird how when you as you get old, and then everything's too loud, you're like, damn, it's too loud.
I still play loud music.
Yeah, man. You need to.
I still play loud, but
I got a doctor for you, clinical psychologist. I'm just kidding. But the thing is
he cute?
See, you are looking. I rest my case.
I like attractive
Guilty.
people.
2 to 5 years. Lucifer. No, I'm just kidding. And then you can meet with Jesus, right?
Hey.
But I feel like the music, the culture, they're raised to be independent boss bees, right?
Yes.
And now they're blaming black men.
Yes.
Do you feel that's fair?
No.
Okay, so you're on board with that.
No, I don't think it's fair because I think the black experience in general in this country is quite unique. They literally, like, I talk about it on my show all the time, like black women and black men hate each other, right? People have called me anti-black for my opinions, but I'm like, no, nobody hates black people like black people. Stop. Nobody.
No, that's a fact.
Nobody hates black people.
I've been called Uncle Tom, everything in the book.
I know, like they'll say the white man this and the Latinos this, but no one hates black people like black people. I've said that before. None of us. So you can't call me anti-black when you have so much infighting, gender wars, light skin, dark skin, good hair, bad hair. This one has green eyes. There's a lot of infighting before you even go outside to blame white people or Latin people. But women are raised to be more masculine than the men are, unfortunately. So men, the black men are always dating out. I've dated black men and I hear the same thing over and over and over and over verbatim. Like, I will never date a black woman again. They're this, they're that, and the third. So I'm like, well,
So you don't blame the black men for dating outside their culture?
Absolutely
Race.
not. Absolutely not.
Good,
Go
good.
where you are celebrated and happy, and and that's why they kind of like, not even kind of like, they prefer women who are Filipino or Latin or whatever. I used to do things like in my relationships with black men that they were shocked I was doing, and I was like, no woman's ever done this for you, like the pedicure and the foot massage and the back massage, and I have your dinner ready, and it's like, don't touch his food because he's gonna be hungry when he comes home, and they were always surprised about that. Or like birthdays, I'm planning trips, and they're like, yo, a woman's never done it. I was like, what? This is like routine. This is like, girlfriend stuff. So when they say that, I'm always shocked. I'm like, wow, you poor baby. So I see why they date out. I understand 110%. I don't blame them. Go where you're being treated good.
So was your baby's daddy white, black, or what?
He was as light as you, but he was black.
He was mixed?
Yeah.
Okay, black and white?
Yes.
Okay. Mm-hmm. All right. So all your family came from Puerto Rico?
Yes.
And Puerto Rico was Spanish, and then they had the slaves there, right?
Yes.
That's why I call you Black Tinas.
Black Tina.
Just like the Filipinos are the Mexican Asians.
I'll take it.
Because the Spaniards invaded the Philippines. Well, all their last names are Spanish.
I actually identify as Afro-Latina when it goes in.
Oh, here we go. I rest my case. The jury's in my favor right now.
Black is something else culturally, completely, entirely. It is something else entirely.
Okay, here we go.
Your ancestry is not the same as your culture. In this culture,
Facts.
Black means something else entirely.
Right.
That's why.
But I don't identify as African American. I don't like that term. I say black.
You say black.
Mm-hmm.
Are you mixed?
Yep.
You're black and white.
Mm-hmm.
But you chose black.
No, I say I identify as black and white. I don't say I'm half African American and white. I don't use African American. I don't like that terminology.
Okay, so you say I'm black or white.
Yes,
Okay.
100%. Yeah, I never
that's
say,
fair.
because I mean, I was raised, but we all originated supposedly from Africa. So we all
Supposedly.
get reparations.
No, that's what I say. Because sometimes people are like,
Right?
the funny thing
I
is,
don't want reparations. I'm just clarifying. But we reparations. Well, then everybody gets reparations.
absolutely. And I say that on my show all the time. See, here's the thing. When something bad happens to Latins, then black people say, see, you're black too. Look how you're getting treated. But then when I say I want reparations, then I'm not black anymore.
Right.
So they got to make up their mind.
But that's the thing. Like the first Bible came from Ethiopia.
Oh, yeah.
Right. And it was around 800 years before the King James Version.
Mm-hmm.
Right. And they spoke Ge'ez is the language.
Mm-hmm.
And they had 100 books in the Bible before the 66 the Bible has.
Mm-hmm.
So when people are like, oh, the white people, they manipulate the blacks with the Bible. It's like, dude, that came from Africa.
Well, it was remixed.
Everything's been remixed, right? Drake's remixed, right?
Yeah.
You know why they remix albums? To make more money, because the publisher's making all the money and the recording, right? So
it's been remixed. No, but I want my reparations because a lot of people say I'm black too, so I want them. I want my check.
You really want reparations?
No, I'm
Okay,
fucking with,
I was
I fuck with people when they say that. When they say I'm black too, then I'm like, then give me my reparations, and then all of a sudden I'm not black at all.
So we got some couple minutes coming down here, but I'm going to switch over to politics.
Okay.
I like talking about politics.
Okay.
Do you like Trump?
He doesn't bother me.
But did you vote last time?
I did not.
Okay. Have you voted ever?
No.
Okay. Do you feel that
So I don't have a dog in the fight. I just watch, like watching sports.
Okay, no, that's fair.
Okay.
Do you feel like our economy was better with Trump?
It depends on who you ask. Like some people say yes, and then some people say no.
Well, I mean, you got to go by the numbers. The recession,
Mm-hmm.
the dollar, everything's bad right now, right? And so when he was in office, like I made the most money I ever made in 1 year.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
When he was in office.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, the economy is great, right?
Mm-hmm.
Corporate America, we were doing great. Now everybody's in a bad house recession, interest rates.
Yeah, it's pretty bad now.
Yeah, so I'm just curious on where you stood.
Well, who was he good for though? When you say that you've made the most money you ever made, did everybody
Well, he lowered the taxes for people.
in a certain tax bracket?
No, because here's the myth. Here's the misconception.
Mm-hmm.
He lowered the tax burden for everybody.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, facts. So that helps out everybody. It's like, well, the rich people don't pay as much in taxes. Okay, let's talk about that. If I pay, let's say the average person's tax bracket gets lowered to 25%. That's what he did.
Okay.
It's 35% now, but he was 25% across the board. And I have a corporation and I lower my taxes down to 15%. You say, well, you didn't pay as much. I still paid more based on the money I made, right? I still gave back more to the economy. But when the standard tax bracket was 22, 23, 25% versus 35 now, that helps out everybody. There was more jobs, lowest unemployment, even for blacks in America. So, and I want to clarify something. I hear black people say, well, he's good for blacks.